What is happening, everybody? It is Anarka Akaza back at you with another album review video, and today I wanted to talk about my buddy Rob Equiza of Records in the Philippines. Definitely go follow him on Facebook, subscribe to his YouTube channel. He is a fantastic musician, an awesome friend. He's super cool. He's a really cool guy. His music is a combination of the structure that I wish I had and avant-garde madness. We actually just recently did this collaboration, not even a couple weeks ago, where I'm in Metro Manila, Philippines. Obviously, he's in Quinta. I went to Records, and he and I did the song together called S'moresboro, and it's a really good track. He mixed it well. It's fucking awesome. Can't wait for y'all to listen to it. It's gonna be good. But Robert Giza, he's a really talented musician. He really is. And actually, I learned a few things myself from him because for those of you who know or don't know, I make music myself. I make more noise, experimental music. I've been making music since around 2016, 2020-ish. I've technically been making music since 2011, but I released my first EP in 2016 and released my first album in 2020. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it was my collaboration with Rob that really, because he taught me a few things, which you all will definitely see later on my upcoming releases. He taught me how to make structure, because one of the things I like about Rob's music is he has an experimental side to him, but at the same time, he knows how to layer stuff and put stuff together in a way that it sounds really good. And this album, Refugees, which, like I said, it released on December 27th, 2022 on Records. Definitely go check it out. It's on Bandcamp, it's on Spotify, it's on all the it's also there's a physical CD release of it. There's a little USB release. That's a thing they're doing now. The little USBs. That's pretty cool. I've actually never seen that before. So it's a digital. It's physical for those of you who want physical instead. But anyway, this album has 8 tracks on it, and if I were to in one sentence describe this album, it's got the vibe of a soul who has been lost in some place, in some dark, tattered place, who is seeking for answers and light in this abyssal maze we call life. That's essentially the best way that I could put it, just to really summarize the entire album. But the song starts off with a track called Nothing New. It's just a few minutes long. It's got a really strong guitar intro. It's a song about, like I said, lost souls searching for truth. It's got mellow vibes throughout it. And it essentially is about people who, from my own opinion, it's about people who, are always searching through life, trying to find answers, this and that, and they never find anything. It's just like a kind of an endless maze. And, we've all definitely been there. We've all been stuck in the ripped patterns of life, trying to figure out where we're supposed to go, this and that. And that can leads a lot of people to depression, because some people never find out. They never figure out where they're supposed to go. They never get those answers. And this album as a whole really does fill that void, especially the second track on here called Empty Cemetery. It starts out with soothing and calm vocals, providing a sense of relaxation. And my favorite line from this is "Waste away till our hearts decay." Oh, the way he just says it over and over. I mean, an empty cemetery. It's got this like really smooth vibes, and a cemetery is full of obviously the dead, the deceased. But just imagine going to a graveyard in the middle of the night, and there's a bunch of tombstones, and just there's stars in the sky. You're just laying on your back, and it's nothing but empty. An empty cemetery. Just imagine how surreal that would feel. Wasting away till our hearts decay. I really, really love those words there. It's like, and throughout the song, the vocals and the vocals start strengthening, especially on the chorus, getting louder and repeating. It just really pushes, it just pushes the emotion through. And I think Empty Cemetery is definitely my favorite song on this album. The third track on this is called Zealots. It's essentially the single from the album. It's got more of a Middle Eastern / Mediterranean style guitar opening, and it's definitely a banger for sure. It's got strong, bold vocals, especially in the chorus. It kind of gives me the image of a man like when I was a kid. So I'm not a religious person, but when I was a kid, my family, they're definitely religious. But we have this VHS tape. It was called the Bible. It was named after the Bible. It was 2 VHS tapes, and on the front of it, it had Moses with the 10 Commandments, like this. He was sitting on a hill, on a mountain with the stone of the 10 Commandments, and it just had him on that mountain. And Zealots kind of gives me that sort of image, especially as I'm laying back, listening to this, laying down. It kind of gives me the image of, just a religious figure who is just, like Moses attempting to, which I haven't read the Bible in so fucking long, but the Ten Commandments are obviously what Christians are supposed to follow in order to, please Yahweh, their Lord and Savior, and go to heaven. And so that kind of what the song correlates. It's a song that criticizes the delusions of faith about extreme fundamentalists who think Jesus is the only way, Allah is the only way, or not just that, but political leaders like hell, you know, whoever a person may be overly fundamental about or just overly charismatic or enthusiastic about believing that their political leader, their political religious ideology is the only way. They're so stuck to that they can't look at the broader picture. These are the Ten Commandments. You must obey this. It's just, they're stuck in that, and the guitars just really, especially with the chorus, his vocals really pitch up. Not like high pitch, but his vocals really kick up to these heavier style vocals and these punk-esque guitars. Not like hardcore punk, but the song definitely kicks up in that, and it definitely helps to drive the message home. And like I was saying, it's just got a very ancient world-like Middle Eastern sort of sound that flows through it. Like when I watch movies, like I said about the Jesus Christ film that I watched, it's just kind of got that. Like if you're watching a film about Christ or Allah or ancient religious figures from the Middle East throughout history, you're watching that. That's what this really reminds me of. And it's a damn good track for it. And like I said, it's a single for it. Definitely check that out. The next song on this is called 3/4. And this one's got a bit of a slow drum intro with a tremolo guitar effect, and I like that. It really adds a good touch to it. And my favorite line from this song is, "The sins of my past will not define me." In society always judges us, and not just society, but we judge ourselves by the sins of our past. The mistakes of our past, they're always those boulders in the back of our mind. Ow, that fucking hurt. They're always the boulders. Our past, what we did yesterday, even if it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Because, some mistakes lay a heavy burden on our souls, on our hearts, on our minds. And, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of looking forward to say, the sins of my past, the mistakes that I made in my past, they will not define me as a person. That's who I was yesterday. Those are the mistakes that I made yesterday. Those will not define me as a person today. I'm a new man, I'm a new woman, I'm a new whatever. I am not who I used to be, because people change throughout time. And like I said, the song is very courageous in that note. It's an excellent quote, and I like the sloshy slide winding. The sloshy side winding, sliding. I can't speak English. Guitar effects. They definitely do add a special touch to the song, and it just really helps to drive the point through. But I really respect that song because, even I'm 29. I'm a millennial, and I still hang up. I'm still hung on and obsessed with mistakes and shit that I've done 10 years ago, and it's like, oh, I can't just let shit go, and it's really difficult to not allow the things of the past to not, because you wanna make sure you learn from your past mistakes when you move forward in life. So I really respect him for that line, "The sins of my past will not define me," because that is an excellent quote that we all should abide by. Learn from your mistakes, but don't let your mistakes of your past own you. Own them and move on from them. Learn from them. The next track on here is called "Down," which I like the song. It's good, especially with the kind of relaxing yet freaking out chatter towards the end. But this song is it's a little too repetitive on the chorus there. Down, you're going down. That's a little bit too repetitive for me, but the song's got a good message to it. I mean, like I said, I like the instrumental. It's rather relaxing. This album in general is a very relaxing album. It's not, it's definitely an album that I've fallen asleep to a few times. I've definitely relaxed to it since it's been released a couple months ago. It's a good mellow vibes and relaxing. It's not too brutal on the ears. It's not, and Rob changes his vocals throughout each track in a very unique way. And some of these songs are actually old. Like I think he said The Get Me Out of Here Shadows is, I believe, 10 years old or something like that. So some of these songs are actually old, and they definitely age like wine. They definitely, you know, I'm not really a fan of highly repetitive vocals, like highly, you know how a lot of artists repeat the chorus over and over again. That's one of my pet peeves. But I mean, the message of the song is good, and the structure is good, but the "you're going down, down" that is a bit too repetitive for me. But it does help to drive the point of the song forward, so I do respect it for that. Um, the next track on number 6, "Wasted as Can Be." It's got a mellow intro with really dreamy like vocals, so just smooth vibes throughout it, and one of the lines I like from this song is, "Everyone seems so satisfied, yet everyone has so much to hide." Yes, that is absolutely true. Like, there's no way around that. That's a fact of life. There's so many people who walk around, and myself included, everyone. You know, we all. It's like people who think their shit don't stink. Not even just that, but like everyone's got dark secrets. Everyone's got you know skeletons in their closets, as such to say. Wasted as can be. We walk around thinking everything is, just like earlier. The sins of my past will not define me. People who walk around with those sins and let them sins define them, in the present day. That's kind of the vibe that I get from Wasted as Can Be, because it's saying, from my perspective, everyone seems so satisfied, yet everyone has so much to hide. It's like, um, you ever meet someone and you've known them for years and years and years, and you come to find out that they've got some deep ass skeletons in their closet, or just something about them. You're like, what the? Whoa, dude! Oh my God, oh man. Yeah, we've all been there. Most of us have met someone who, or even ourselves. Like, there's things about each one of us that, you know, we just try to forget about, because it's just we all have that ugly. We all have everybody experiences something ugly in life, but yeah, you gotta, in order to survive in this world, you really have to put that ugliness away and learn to cope with it and move on. As like I said, the sins of my past will not define me, and then we will drown in, we will drown in, we will drown in. That's kind of relating to that. This is another line of the song. We will drown, and if you just if you let them burdens just take over you, you're gonna drown. You're gonna drown. You're not going to be able to survive. You gotta keep swimming to keep swimming and keep swimming. You can't just let them burdens pull you under. It really fits the mood. No Shadow, number 7. This track is one of my favorites on the album. I think it's called Maracas. The little tropical tambourines, maracas. I forgot the name of the instrument. The little things you hold in your hand, with the little beans inside of them. This song is really cool. It's got some reverberating vocals, and it just represents the feeling of being lost. And also, I love the. Now, remember how I said on Down that I don't like repetitive choruses? This song does it, but with perfection. The way the mood and the vibe is set with this track, the way that it's executed and performed. This song does it correctly, in my opinion. No shadow, 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 no shadow. There is no light, no shadow, no shadow, no shadow, no shadow, no shadow, no shadow. There is no light. I can't sing like Rob, but it's just like the song gives you the feeling of like an endless tunnel of darkness for a paranoid mind seeking light and peace. Like a feeling of being lost at sea on like you're stranded on some deserted island, like in the background, if you listen closely, there's some kind of little bit of a noise filler, like waves splashing against the beach. Let's say you're stranded on some island. That's just kind of the vibe it gives me, and like the noise filled background, it gives me like this. It adds a special texture, and like especially towards the end of the song, when the song finishes, it goes. There's like this sound morph like explosion. It's like a paranoid mind just trying to, no shadow, no shadow, no shadow. There is no light. A paranoid mind just exploding at the end of it, like a balloon popping. That's kind of what that song does to me. I really relate to that song, especially because of where I'm at right now. I'm in the Philippines. I love this country. I love being. I love my wife, but I'm extremely homesick, and definitely hits me hard. After I talk about the last track on here, I'm gonna make a comment about that. But the last track on here was called "Get Me Out of Here," and it's all jumbled together. "Get Me Out of Here," no spaces. So this track is kind of different than the rest of them because it's got a left to right pan of the guitar, and to me it's like a clock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, back and forth as a person just like going insane as they've like lost, they feel lost. Like I said, the previous track, like they feel like they're on a deserted island. This track like feels like they're lost and feeling hopeless and being stranded, like just counting the. It kind of gives me the idea of like I don't know if you ever played the game Clock Tower before, but it's like you're stuck in a dungeon and all you can hear is like a clock tower just tick tock, tick tock, just counting, just a clock, just time going on, and you're just becoming paranoid and lost, and you just you know, and the vocals are just so they just so dire they fit in just fine, and the filler, oh, it adds such a harmonic touch to it. The song is it's a good closing track for this album, and it highly correlates to the name of the album, Refugee. So refugee is someone who seeks asylum or shelter from a disaster, whether that's a political disaster, whether it's a natural disaster. Refugees are people who seek refuge, seek shelter, seek home, seek peace, seek love, seek whatever from like let's say in Afghanistan just last year, when I think it was 2022, when Biden pulled the troops out of Afghanistan, there were a lot of Afghans who tried to seek refuge in Europe because Afghan fell to the Taliban, and that's kind of what that track really reminds me of. It's like when Afghanistan fell to the Taliban, you know, a lot of the Afghan people didn't want to live there because obviously the Taliban, they're a terrorist organization, and so they went to seek shelter in the European Union. And you all probably saw that video of the Afghan people literally like when America left Vietnam. They made Fox News and CNN and all the major media outlets. They made a comparison when the plane was taking off. All the people were literally hanging on for their life. They were that fucking desperate to leave Afghanistan because they didn't want to live under the Taliban's rule. And so that's kind of just the way the vocals are on "Get Me Out of Here," the taking back and forth of the clock sound, which is not a clock sound that ticks back and forth. It just reminds me that it's a guitar, and just the panning to left and right. The song as well is structured in such a way that it's just like you're mentally a ticking time bomb, and you're about to explode. You know, that's just what I get from that song. "Get Me Out of Here," and it's like I said, there's no spaces. GETMEOUTH. I can't spell, but overall, that's the kind of vibes I'm getting from this album. I mean, it's called Refugees, and as I was telling Rob a while back when we were doing our collaboration, when I first saw this album, when I first saw it, I was looking because before I even listened to it, so I thought the river, which I believe the river is the Pasig River, but I immediately thought of the Pasig River here in the Manila, Philippines. And a long time ago, I don't remember the year it was. Don't quote me on the year, but the United Nations considered the Pasig River biologically deceased because it was so heavily polluted and toxic and filled with, it was a dead river. And here in Manila, there are a lot of waterways that are just toxic. There's no life in it. And before I even listened to this record, my immediate thoughts were, yeah, this is a record about the struggle of the Philippines. Because obviously Rob is from the Philippines. This record relates refugees. I know a lot of Filipinos who want to take refuge. They want to leave the Philippines and go to America, go to the European Union, go to the United Kingdom, go to Japan, South Korea. They want to go to a different country where there's a lot more opportunity, where they can make a living, where they can raise a family, where they don't have to live in abstract, complete poverty and whatnot, because the poverty levels in this country are absurd due to government corruption and whatnot. And so that's the vibes I was getting from this album. And Rob told me he took that picture years and years and years ago. Which technically I wasn't that far off, because a lot of these tracks do give you the vibe of just being lost and just seeking hope, seeking something, seeking shelter, wanting a better life, wanting to find happiness and peace and tranquility. That's what this album is, just a lost, trapped soul trying to reach out and grab whatever piece of light, whatever piece of prosperity the soul can latch onto. That's essentially what I get from this album, and it is well orchestrated. Thank you so much to Robert Equiza, and sorry my explanations for this are so fucking long. But the previous video I recorded for this was like 45 minutes, so I'm at 20 minutes now. I love y'all. Thank you so much. Please go watch this video, or not watch this video. Please go listen to Refugees on all the streaming platforms. It'll be a link to it in the description below. I'm Anarka, coming at you from Metro Manila, Philippines. Ciao, ciao, ciao.